Well, every year, CNESI and Greater St. Cloud, as part of the Innovation Summit, bring a speaker to town to challenge our thinking and provide us with some new perspectives. And today's speaker, I think, is going to do that. I was fortunate to have the opportunity to be in a small group dining with Bernard last night, and it was fascinating, and you're all in for a treat. And as he speaks, make note of questions. We are going to have, after the presentation, an opportunity for questions and answers. So please let's make good use of his presence in our community. Dr. Franklin helps communities consider how they can change and to adapt to global culture and context through his approach as an innovator and an Imagineer, which he'll explain to us more during his speech. Dr. Franklin is the president of Junior Achievement Mid-America in Kansas City. And as noted in your program, you see a more detailed bio there. He has a long and varied career. Please help join me in welcoming Dr. Franklin.
I had a great dinner last night with Bob and Patty and Steve and a number of people who caused me to go back to my hotel room and rethink some things. So I was tweaking, not twerking. Hey. Tweaking some things last night and early this morning because I want to make sure in this room, that I present in a way that meets the needs of a wide age group of people. And so I've gone back and tried to simplify complex terms and words to make sure everyone in the room is with me. Now, friends, I need you to understand, this is only the beginning. If you came looking for a blueprint, you're not going to get that today. You're going to do the work. I want to inspire, encourage, motivate, help you think in some fresh ways about how to be really creative in this community in ways that you haven't been, maybe. I think you have some great things going on, the awards and all that, but there's a whole nother level for us to get to. And so I want to do that. I want to begin that with you. And friends, I'd love to come back. I mentioned that to our team last night. I'd love to help you get there. And we're going to talk about some of that also because I want you to connect with Kansas City. I want you to stop thinking about just being regional Minnesota. When we think globally and act locally, our regions should expand. And we should connect with those parts of our country, those parts of our region that have similar interests, that are going down some paths that can help us. And I think there's some synergy here with Kansas City. I think what Brad's doing, his company, there might be some things there. But we'll get there. I want to give you a little bit more background because I need you to understand there's nothing in my background that says I should be here. There's nothing in my DNA that says I should be here today in St. Cloud, Minnesota. My parents picked cotton in a squalor community south of Tulsa. And when I say squalor, I want you to imagine squalor in the worst case, because I want you to see extremely poor people picking cotton as sharecroppers on somebody else's land. I was 4 or 5, and Grandpa called me one day, because I was born in that, and Grandpa said, "Come over." Grandpa couldn't say Bernard. So Grandpa said, "Peanut, come over here." And Grandpa had a can. You remember those days where our cups, our drinking cups were, y'all don't remember. You remember? A tin can. And he's drinking some water out of this tin can. He said, "Peanut, come over here." He said, "Peanut, one day you're going to be a doctor." That was the beginning of Imagineering. When you give vision to someone else or to something, You set in motion DNA. You set in motion the universe to make something happen. You give vision. You say with your words. You help shape and frame some child who has no concept of what a doctor is. So I pause each time I do my presentations and I say, thank you, Grandpa. I'm not a medical doctor, but I have a PhD in counseling and family studies. And Grandpa, look at the crowd. Look at my room, Grandpa. It's your creativity, Grandpa. Your imagination, Grandpa. So my parents left Wichita and left Oklahoma, moved to Wichita. Dad wanted to work for Boeing. Dad didn't get a job at Boeing. He ended up at the post office. Dad's a brilliant man. I did get that DNA. Brilliant man, smart, very intelligent. Would oftentimes tell his supervisors at the post office, if we did it this way, we might save, we might reduce. You know what they responded back with? You're not paid to think, Franklin. You're paid to sort mail. I watched as a child my dad grow bitter day by day. In fact, my brothers and sisters and I would often comment when the term postal was popular. Dad retired after 33 years sorting mail and having no ability to use his mind at work. No ability to imagine, no ability to give vision at work. You smile in this room, some of you have vestiges of that. Because some of us are analog babies. And others in this room are digital babies. And Bob, is it? Bob? You're capital one. Brian, B. I got the B, bro. I got the B. Brian, I love how you encourage the community to connect with young people. I want to take it deeper. Don't patronize them by saying connect, but say bring them to the table. And young people, wherever you are in your room, I want you to find your voice today. Whether you're at the university, whether you're in the community, I want you to find voice. Because this community, your universities, your structures will not survive if the youth are not at the table. Hear me clearly, hear me clearly. You will move off the scene. You will go somewhere else. You will do something else. But you need the vibrancy. You need the creativity I'm going to encourage today. You need that from them. Make no mistake about it. Make none. If St. Cloud is going to be a mover and shaker in this region, you're going to have to embrace, put your arms around, coach and mentor your young people. And I'm so glad Willie's here. Oh, I'm glad Willie's here. Because friends, we often start too late. I want you to go down to the elementary school, even preschool, and go find some young people you can give vision to. I told you mine. Imagine if any of you sat in front of a young person who has no future, has no vision, don't know where he's going, and you say, you're going to be a lawyer. You say it. You stand flat-footed in front of him or her and give them vision. I live in a community where lots of my young people have no one at home to give vision. One of the young boys I mentor watched his dad get shot in the drive-by. Then while he's holding his younger sister, his mom's new boyfriend comes in and murders her and his grandmother right in front of him. My mentee is 8 years old. I do everything I can every week to say, this is your vision, not that. Friends, go embrace young people. Quit looking at it as waste of time. So I back to my story. Grew up in the Wichita Public Schools, did not do well in high school, did not connect. Wichita was in the midst of desegregation. The high school I went to, we bussed people from all over the city to try to create this environment. It didn't work. I went off to college where I found my voice, found my identity, helped shape Kansas State University, became the first African American, what we think on a predominantly Caucasian university in the United States. ABC, CBS, NBC flew to Manhattan, Kansas to see how this happened. Went to work for AT&T after graduation. Lost my mind, lost my hair. I had a kicking afro. I know you can't tell. But I had to fit a corporate model. I came in with my Sears suit on, and my boss came up and said, "We don't wear that." He said, "You need to go to Wolf Brothers and put it on." So I put on vestiges of the industrial age. Shaped my hair more appropriately. Vestiges of the industrial age. I got it. But friends, I'm taking it off. I wrestled about coming here with the vestiges of the industrial age. One of the best places I worked was the Kauffman Foundation. Dr. Schramm said, on days when you're not leaving the property, dress any way you want. On days you're going out to represent the foundation, tie it up. And so we did. But friends, those other days when we were at the foundation and we were wrestling and working, we're on the floor, we have paper everywhere, it was nice not to have a tie on. I'm going to get to some things along the way here, but my message is not going to be systematic. It's not going to feel like the industrial age for you. It's going to be a little prezzy. We're going to float around. You're going to have thoughts and moments. But if you come looking for a blueprint, baby, you're not going to get one this morning. I'm not. Because part of creativity is floating and going and darts and paper and stuff, and things hit, something sticks over here and something doesn't. So we're going there. So it's going to feel different. It's going to feel loud. I'm going to have a couple of videos because I want you to think. All right, so then married and all that stuff, higher ed and all that stuff. My wife's diagnosed with breast cancer 2000. Rocked my world. Because I was the public face of the family. My wife, her decision, don't give me that look, don't give me that attitude. Her decision, stay home, do the business of the family, take care of the 4 children. You go, honey, you go. That's you. You love it. You go do it. She was diagnosed, and what was our perspective then was to help her heal, help her get better. So then I came home, I did cooking, I did cleaning, I paid bills, I did homework, and then 5 years later she passed. Totally, folks, totally rocked my world. So I went to a monastery near Kansas City. Because I needed to process. I needed the universe to begin to help me understand how in the world do you take something so good and so right? She was my best friend. We enjoyed just being in each other's presence, not doing anything necessarily, just being together. Support, incredible woman. And I had to go process this. Took my kids for 3 weeks to Mexico City. I'm telling you, I had to process. And in that processing, the terms Imagineering. You know how in course of life, those of you that have had pain, you have to come to a place where you say, what good comes out of this? Or I'm going in another direction. Because I'm overwhelmed with where I'm at. And so I began to read this term about redesigning your life, redesigning your world. And I connected with Imagineering because I needed to reimagine Bernard Franklin's life. So I read about a man named Walt Disney, who took Bob Hope and some colleagues to the outer skirts of then LA and said, imagine with me a park, a recreation space where adults, retired, parents, and children can have fun all the same place and time one weekend. Bob Hope and many of the friends looked at DeWalt and said, oh, man, we don't see how that can happen. We see the grandparents having a great time, maybe with their children, so adults, but we don't see the children and the grandparents and anything in between having much fun with that. Walt Disney went back to his engineers and say, imagine with me a park where this could happen. And they began to design the Walt Disney. I just had an opportunity a couple of weeks ago to tour Disney World in Orlando. And they were discussing this whole concept of Imagineering. You know how life just has this way, the universe just has this way of taking you places. Here I'm fascinated with it, and I'm sitting right there with some of the Imagineering leaders at Walt Disney. You know, those, you don't get it. I'm mystical in that way. When things happen and you go places and you go, wow, that's great. So anyway, I'm here because I use this on a daily basis. I've had to redesign, reimagine my world. Just put my daughter, my last child, into freshman year. Friends, I had to do this. I'm telling you, vestiges of the industrial age. Bra was rigid, bra was hard, bra was by the line. And daughter went ballistic, crazy, nuts. Dad, you're not like mom. Dad, you're working too much. You're doing all this, and you're not this, and you're not that. Pressed me to say, wait a minute. There's a whole nother man that needs to be created here. I'm writing a book, The Resilient Father, The Resilient Husband, whatever you want to call him. But I'm doing that. But in the process, I've become really passionate about some things. And this is part of me. Limitless possibilities, open minds, creative spirit, sharing resources, moving forward without any remorse or regret. Friends, there's not a reason we have all these problems among us when we have all the resources we have. When I come back in 10 years, 5 years, you should make some real progress with your immigrant community. You all should make some real progress with your food banks. You should make some real progress with some of the things that are really challenging you. Why? Because you have the resources to do it. Right up here. Oh yeah, we need money. But friends, America and the world has thrown money at a lot of our problems. And a lot of them remain for the next generation to come and change. It's not for resources. I mean, a limitless possibilities, open minds. So what I want you to do right now is just stop with me. Stop for a moment. Take a deep breath. If you need to close your eyes, do so. Those of you that have your arms folded, come on, let's relax a bit. Let's just relax, let it all down. Take a deep breath. Suspend judgment. Think open. Ask the universe to impart creativity. Allow yourself to think in some new and fresh ways. Friends, I'm not being dumb and stupid. I'm really not. The brain can be rewired. It is the most malleable part of our body. It can be rewired. You don't need to say, because I'm rigid and stuck, I'll always be that way. You're looking at unrigid and unstuck. You're looking at creativity. I go with the best of them. You know that Google came to Kansas City, selected it as its first site for high-speed technology. The mayor appointed 10 people. I'm one of those. I was appointed chair of the education committee, bringing preschool, K-12, and our colleges and universities together to talk about high-speed technology and where it could take us. I'm going into meetings with people with temples like mine, my color, who are looking at me strange, like some of you all in this room are this morning, and saying, wow, Franklin, what are you talking about? And I could go there. Because I'm not afraid to interact with young people. I love being with young people. I love being in that space. I love having those conversations. And if I don't understand it, I don't mind saying, I don't know. Help me get it. And so I'm telling you, you can rewire, but you're going to have to stop what you're doing. We need to go to find some space. You need to take a half a day, some of you, to just go relax. Now, friends, the industrial period, 8-hour day, work hard. We need to integrate into our day some time and some space to just stop. You can't make that shift. You can't grab information in magazines and iPads. You have to stop and take a moment and rewire thinking so that you can see and understand and grab a hold of. And so limitless possibilities is right there. I'm also passionate about transforming urban education, Willie. St. Cloud, your future depends on his success. And so all of you, I want all of you getting with Willie after we're done. Willie, I'm sorry I didn't tell you about all this. Willie needs classroom volunteers, mentors, people to go in the classroom to give vision to young people. Get in there. Help Willie get that done. Why am I saying all this, friends? Because I think we're going here. Google is about to build the first Google house. You've seen some of it, some parts of it. You walk up, you say, I'm home, carrying your groceries. The lock recognizes your voice waves and immediately opens the door. You go in and you put your groceries wherever you're going to be after your refrigerator has communicated with the store of the things in there that you're out of. So you're out of eggs, it's already told the store. You're out of milk, you're out of butter, you're out of ketchup. It already knows, already transported that you go pick up your groceries. You go to bed, you wake up, the coffee maker hears your yawn and begins percolating. You take a step into the bathroom and it knows which family member it is and begins your shower at your room temperature, not your husband's, not your son's, your room temperature. Ice cold comes, you flip a switch. Coils in your driveway. Friends, we're going here. But I wish I had time, because I wish I could ask you what's wrong with this picture. I was with my daughter, and I had one of those vivid moments when I said, there's nobody in that picture that looks like me. And that's where we're headed, friends. Could that be the new suburb? Could we make the air and the land so bad and crime so ridiculous that people want to go to a space and time where they can get away from it all? And who are those people who can afford that? Are we so unconcerned that we don't want to take care of people who don't look like us? And so, friends, I'm going to press you this morning, and I'm going to rejoice with you in how you have integrated and honored your immigrant population. But, friends, I also work at K-State. I'm assistant vice president. You know why I'm assistant vice president? Because families in Kansas, Caucasian families, are having fewer children. So for about 8 years, the Caucasian high school population has been declining. And so my boss said, because of your presence in Kansas City, and how you sit and how people respect you, I want you to help me get into neighborhoods and places where I can't get. And so I go into African American, Latino, immigrant populations, and I bring the K-State message. Well, friends, I don't want my community leaders to leave. If they leave, I want them to take some people with them. So I'm saying to you, we have to make sure that we're there. That all of our people, all of our community goes with us. If we're all going, there's a population of us who want to stay here. I want to stay right here. Because I like my land. I like feeling like I can feel something. George flying around in his car and all that. I like this. All right, so what is imagineering leadership? Group idea. See, it's not just about me. It's a group idea technique in which participants try to visualize how things would be if there were no barriers. So friends, I don't have traditional staff meetings anymore. I told my staff, we're not going to report. Don't come once a week telling me where we're going. We're going to have, this is what we're going to do. So I'm going to give you some of my secrets in Kansas City. See, I'm all this connected, so I walk into junior achievement because I'm tired at my age of fighting the education battles. And so I said, for the rest of my adult life, let me find a project, some work where I can make impact right away. Junior achievement was my lifeboat when I was in school, and so it was easy for me to move right in there. But junior achievement is siloed like many of our youth-serving organizations. Siloed, sitting over here. But we're in K-12. So I'm thinking, as I have and been trained and rewired, why is junior achievement not in a school? Why are we not in the school district? I have curriculum for all levels, elementary, middle, and high school. Why am I over here? So I went to one of my superintendents and said, I want to merge, I want to get with you, I want to be part of your system so that I integrate into the mainstream, because Missouri has a requirement that students graduate with a certain number of hours of financial literacy. You can't teach it, but I can teach it, and you can help me understand pedagogy. And you can help me drive this. And he said, bro, this is a plan. So the Kauffman Foundation is saying, we want it. When can you get started? Can you help us with summer school? Because nobody in Kansas City is engaging young people around entrepreneurship. So we're on the floor. Having this, not reporting, don't come with a report. I don't want to know what you should have already been done doing it. So we're getting down on the floor, having 2 or 3 hour meetings, and I'm telling, when we get started, we have a little conversation about family. Because I want my team to know each other. I want them to be comfortable with each other. On Tuesdays, in the next block is a taco restaurant. They have Taco Tuesday. We go get tacos for $1. And you know what one of my employees told me? The previous president didn't do this because the previous president didn't think that you sloshed around with the employees. Industrial age. Friends, you have to get in there because I give vision. This is what I want. This is where we're going. And I tell my staff, help me get there. I'm my grandpa to my staff. Come on, y'all are brighter than that. The future is very difficult to predict. The future is we don't know, but we have to be ready, nimble, flexible, ready to go. Look at this. When he saw a demonstration of the telephone in 1880, a U.S. mayor declared, one day every town in America will have AIDS. That's where you all are. In a nice way, friends. You're limiting your thinking about St. Cloud. You're limiting your thinking about your organization, who you are. And you're thinking, well, maybe we can do this. Friends, sky's the limit. There should be more companies like Brad's here. More operating. Greater things happening. You have synergy right here. Had dinner last night with a good group like I told you. Came back up, did some tweaking. Thought I needed another drink. One, went to the Red Lounge. Woo! Baby. Probably shouldn't confess that, but let's just be transparent and honest. But I only had one because that's all I could stand. I met one of your restaurant managers, and I had the nerve to tell her what I was here for. Sister girl left her group, came over, squatted to tell me all the bad things about St. Cloud. All the things that's not working, all the attitudes. Oh, I mean, she just went on and on and on and on and on and on and on. I said, stop. Change starts with you. Change starts with how you see things. You're limiting this community by your experiences. All you may say it may be true. But friends, it stops with you and it starts with you. So friends, you get out of the way, get your small vision out of the way, give your young people, give other people a chance to take you where you can't maybe lead them. So you have more than one telephone. You can't create a dynamic future holding on to the past, clinging. Some of what we have about St. Cloud, just because of who's coming, who's being represented, means something new, something fresh, something different. And friends, that's okay. You know, I say to myself, I'm going to be off the scene soon. But I want to leave my children and my grandchildren, three of the, oh my God, the best grandchildren you've ever seen in your life. Oh, Elijah's 5 years old. He's a whip. But he's a digital baby. He takes my iPad and he's in places I don't even know. I want to leave a world behind for Elijah where nobody questions, where everybody expects a young, bright kid from Kansas to be extraordinary. You need to raise your expectations for your young people in your community. Not only yours, but everybody around you. Imagination is more than knowledge, for knowledge is limited to all we know now and understand, while imagination embraces the whole world and all there will ever be to know and understand. I mean, you do a Google search on Einstein. Google search Einstein in quotes. Oh. Somebody somewhere, there's a book. Bro, was incredible. It's very easy to compare creativity and knowledge in an abstract, metaphorical sense. But we know that our imagination is developed from the knowledge we gain and the experiences of our daily lives. Pure and simple. So when it comes to debate on whether we need to emphasize creativity or knowledge in education, how can we say that one is more valuable than the other? Any TED folks in the audience? TED, T-E-D. Go, everybody, when you get back to your office, I give you permission, professional development, to do TED search. Sir Ken Robinson, incredible TED presentations on education. How education is stifling creativity. Great, this man, that's another one you need to research. Imagination is another name for innovation. And that's the knowledge. We can look it up in a dictionary, just search on the internet. However, you can't search. Today, innovation and technology are reshaping our cities and our world. New leaders and thinkers are using emergent technologies and radical ideas to transform humanity and Earth to a very different future than what we could imagine. Friends, I just want you to do that. And even when you go back to work, I want you to set aside some time just for imagination with your company, with your organization. And even if you're not there, allow your staff to be there. Allow your people to have a whole new sense of what the organization is about. Let's pause for a moment and talk about education, because the system really tests our ability to regurgitate. It does. It wants us to go back and listen and analyze, and put in some place what a teacher, an adult, gives to young people and says, okay, give it back to me. It has so focused on correctness of knowledge and the accuracy of memory that has almost completely repressed the complementary skill of creativity. So you in this room, your creativity has been shaped by poor teachers and a poor system. Now, did that system serve us well in the industrial period? Yes, it did. But that same system is not going to take us where it needs to go. So I really need you to work with Brother Willie. However he wants to reform education here, I need you to support that. If Brother Willie comes and says he needs a community sales tax increase, friends, don't be like a lot of communities. We don't need that. Industrial vestiges. Because you don't see where we need to go. You don't understand that. You're not thinking right that every kid needs a laptop. Every kid needs an iPad. Teachers need to rethink how they teach. Our teachers, our schools need to be teaching Mandarin. We need to move away. No offense, we need to move from Spanish and French Mandarin will dominate. Give me 10 years, maybe 15. Do your system offer Mandarin? Sweet. I'll calm down then. As they say, moving right along. Again, Einstein, I never teach. Am I, because I'm stepping on it? I'll quit. Okay, forget Einstein. We have so mysticized, romanticized. Thanks. I mean, this bro, he's staying. He works for a law firm, and I told him, if things go bad, I don't have a presentation, and so he's staying here. Come on. Thanks, bro. So we've said creativity belongs to artists. Creativity belongs to the paramount, to the community, and I so wish I could see Les Mis. Jeanette, how come you didn't have me here that week? All human beings have a capacity for creativity because of how our brain works. Jeanette, another theme I want you to focus on is brain development and how the brain functions. Because part of what our communities need to understand, we need to really rethink our brain and wiring and how we redo that, because we can still do that. We can still shape. We can still refine our brain. I went to a conference at TCU last year. Phenomenal conference. Phenomenal on brain development. Bro, I'm so glad you're here, man. Oh, fine. Let's go. Get out of the way. Ted.
I need to make a confession at the outset here. A little over 20 years ago, I did something that I regret. Something that I'm not particularly proud of. Something that in many ways I wish no one would ever know, but that here I feel kind of obliged to reveal. In the late 1980s, in a moment of youthful indiscretion, I went to law school. And now, in America, law is a professional degree. You get a university degree, then you go on to law school. And when I got to law school, I didn't do very well. Put it mildly, I didn't do very well. I, in fact, graduated in a part of my law school class that made the top 90% possible. I never practiced law a day in my life. I pretty much wasn't allowed to. But today, against my better judgment, against the advice of my own wife, I want to try to dust off some of those legal skills, what's left of those legal skills. I want to tell you a story. I want to make a case. I want to make a hard-headed, evidence-based, dare I say lawyerly case for rethinking how we run our businesses. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, take a look at this. This is called the candle problem. Some of you might have seen this before. It's created in 1945 by a psychologist named Carl Dunker. Carl Dunker has created this experiment that's used in a whole variety of experiments in behavioral science. And here's how it works. Suppose I'm the experimenter. I bring you into a room. I give you a candle, some thumbtacks, and some matches. And I say to you, your job is to attach the candle to the wall so the wax doesn't drip onto the table. Now, what would you do? Many people begin trying to thumbtack the candle to the wall. Doesn't work. Some people, and I saw somebody kind of make the motion over here, some people have a great idea where they light the match, melt the side of the candle, try to adhere it to the wall. It's an awesome idea, doesn't work. And eventually, after 5 or 10 minutes, most people figure out the solution, which you can see here. The key is to overcome what's called functional fixedness. You look at that box and you see it only as a receptacle for the tacks, but it can also have this other function as a platform for the candle problem. Now, I want to tell you about an experiment using the candle problem done by a scientist named Sam Glucksberg, who's now at Princeton University in the US. This shows the power of incentives. Here's what he did. He gathered his participants and he said, I'm going to time you how quickly you can solve this problem. To one group, he said, I'm going to time you to establish norms, averages, for how long it typically takes someone to solve this sort of problem. To the second group, he offered rewards. He said, if you're in the top 25% of the fastest times, you get $5. If you're the fastest of everyone we're testing here today, you get $20. Okay, now this is several years ago, adjusted for inflation. It's a decent sum of money for a few minutes of work. It's a nice motivator. Question: how much faster did this group solve the problem? Answer: it took them on average 3.5 minutes longer. 3.5 minutes longer. Now this makes no sense, right? I mean, I'm an American, I believe in free markets, that's not how it's supposed to work, right? If you want people to perform better, you reward them, right? Bonuses, commissions, their own reality show, incentivize them. That's how business works, but that's not happening here. You've got an incentive designed to sharpen thinking and accelerate creativity, and it does just the opposite. It dulls thinking and blocks creativity. And what's interesting about this experiment is that it's not an aberration.
Watch at your next staff meeting. Finish it up. Some of our traditional ways of encouraging, motivating, and inspiring creativity, innovation doesn't work. It doesn't work. And what he's suggesting is we give space. We just make things available. I'm taking my office to a whole nother facility. We described that. And I asked the superintendent, give me a room for my staff, a place for them without walls where they can gather and we can have conversations. My other office is like that. Another office in Kansas City, it's a group of young people. I pay $15 a month to just be in an open space with high-speed technology. The creativity that's in that room is unbelievable. And it's just having conversations. So one person's on the phone over here, their cell phone talking about something, and invariably somebody will come up and say, I think I can help you with that. And that becomes their reward. Their incentive is working there. So there's things, we understand this. So do you want to make some change? I need to move on here. Give us a few minutes to talk about the 1950s, my daddy's period. 70% of workers living through some form of manual labor. Basic skills not to be mastered. Jobs required little creativity. Franklin, you're not paid to think. Today it's different. About 70% of jobs require continued use of the brain. So we need to help young people, and we need to get in there ourselves. So there are remnants left from the industrial period in our leadership thinking. A new world requires a whole new leader. And make no mistake, the new leadership skills are not dependent on technology alone, depending on a lot of our ability to take technology and use it appropriately, but it's not just because of technology. Successful leaders have to be comfortable with ideas and abstractions, good at both analysis and synthesis, creative, innovative, self-disciplined, well-organized, able to learn very quickly and work well as a member of a team. And have the ability to stop and say, I need to take a half day off. I regularly leave my office. Regularly. When I was president of the community college, I was always there. But I regularly take a half day and I leave. I go find something because I need to re-inspire, rejuvenate. Best employers looking for the most competent. Okay, these are some of the problems that we're working with. That's why I put the Jetsons on the screen for you. So imagination is just another form of innovation. It's all of this together. Skip it. So let me get to my 3 points because I want to get your questions. These are 3 things we really need to do as a community and as organizations. Embrace technology to collaborate and share. Embrace technology to collaborate and share. I'm collaborating with other organizations. Friends, we have one of the worst crime rates in the Kansas City area. So the mayor's bringing all these youth-serving organizations together and saying, help us. And we're all looking in the room and we're all outside. So we sat with Boy Scouts recently. And we said, Boy Scouts, why don't we have more urban boys participating in Boy Scouts? Well, for one thing, we got to put that tie on. We want to take them out in the country. We want to teach them how to sharpen knives and do all this stuff. We're like, bro, you don't need to teach another urban boy how to sharpen a knife. And take that yellow and blue thing and go throw it away. And can we come up with another scarf that maybe is more reflective of their culture's colors? And can we do something that has a little edge and a little funk to it? And can we figure out what is masculinity and how it's defined? Friends, we need to redo, collaborate and share. So we're saying, okay, this is what we're doing. Is there space in your school, sir, for Boy Scouts to come in? So a mom doesn't have to leave work and try to figure out how she's going to take her son from school to cross town to Boy Scouts. Just bring Boy Scouts to them. Promote innovation as organizational value. Embrace. Okay, we'll get to that. All of this, it drives technology, social media. I mean, all of this, you begin to work with other people because the technology allows other groups, other organizations, other parts of your community to come in and collaborate with you. And then you can have these collaborative partnerships. Social media, friends, if we're not using social media, all parts of the community, we're missing an opportunity to really be collaborative. Because you can say to your community, I have this issue, give me some feedback. I have this concern, give me your thoughts. And I'm clearly saying to Kansas State University, and I know the president of St. Cloud State University is here. Where are you, sir? Thank you for being here. I so appreciate you giving up your time to be here. But sir, universities in our country are not going to survive the next 10, 15 years. I think we're going to lose 10% to 15%, and maybe even some universities that we recognize today, the names of them. But I think universities that survive will be universities that have a regular conversation with their students. And social media gives you a chance to ask your students, what's your priority? Where would you like the university to go? How do you see this program and that program? You begin to have that conversation. Friends, that's collaborating, and your students become a partner. So what are you saying as organizations to students in your community? Are you listening in their social media way? Okay, promoting as a social value. Leadership development competency. You need to teach creativity. You need to tie innovation to the review compensation package. I'm doing that. I've come into junior chief. I've fired half my staff. Did it first month. Too much old thinking. I'm trying to take a program, financial literacy, to a group of people who desperately need it. Pause for a moment. At the community college, it was not uncommon for a first semester student to come into the president's office and say, I can't get financial aid. Why can't you get financial aid? This is the first time I'm asking this question. My mom took my social security number, ruined hers, and now she's ruined mine. Friends, it's all over. Poor people are stepping down and taking their children. And so we're saying, high school kids, you need to check your credit. I'm saying this respectfully. So I have a product that I need to take to young people so that they're not using payday loans. No disrespect to payday loan companies here, but we need to figure out how we teach them the value of money when we don't hold money in our pockets. And so I'm saying, I need a staff that can help me penetrate. Reward innovation. Not like he said, we're not rewarding it with dollars and cents, but we're going to do things. I'm going to give you time off. I'm going to give you some space. Recruit for innovation and train for creativity. And then embrace creative systems and practices. Now this is the part you probably came to. You're looking for me to give you a system and a practice. I'm a graduate of the Center for Creative Leadership. I'm a coach in Kansas City, have a certificate for that. What I learned at the Center for Creative Leadership is there is no one formula that works with all of our organizations. So what you need to do with your employees is to sit down and have the conversation. What system, what practices work for us? The old vestige, the vestige before was to take Chryslers, was to take GMs, and they just swapped those processes and plans. We're not in that place anymore. We need to be nimble and flexible and figure out how we get what we want and how to get to do that. So repeat the key points. Organizational creative is linked to a risky balance between complexity. The creative organization needs to be flexible with controlling entrepreneurial risk, but provide the freedom to search for new knowledge through learning and experimentation. By the time I say repeat after me, learning and experimentation, just say it anyway, learning and experimentation. We have to. You need to be in there. Because I chair the education, I have regular access with my counterpart at Google in Mountain View. Because I need 27 years old. That's my counterpart at Google at Mountain View. 27 years old. He's telling me where education is going. They call him the education evangelist. I want to learn. And so most of the time I'm sucking air out of the phone. Give it to me, bro. Fold it in, because I want to learn. And then I go out and experiment. The need to be flexible organizations rings true in the good practices. See, I really wish I had time to break this one down, because most of our nonprofits, this is where we hang. We'll promote creativity, but best practices may discourage. Good practices may give us creativity. Best practices may slow us down, cause us to think we can't do that because that won't get to the outcome. That won't provide this, that won't provide that. But good practices allow us to float around and see what works, what sticks, what doesn't. Friends, there needs to be a balance between good practices and best practices. You need to find that balance for your organization because it's all different. Okay, laser focus on creativity, people, and collaboration. Laser, 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 laser. Strict, I'm right there. Recruit people assets, because that's one of our basic, for any company, any organization, is your people assets. Friends, Cerner in Kansas City wants to become this medical technology center. Cerner, the leading health technology provider in the world, has announced 20,000 unfilled IT jobs in Kansas City. Cerner's saying, I'm going all around the world to do this, and I have young people in my community who could take these jobs, but universities and community college, it's taken you too long to deliver me an IT professional. So Cerner is stepping in with 3 of our school districts, and Cerner is saying, I want an internship, but I'll call it an apprenticeship. Half a day at the school and half a day at Cerner. In the community college, you give them an associate's degree. I'll put them right to work when they graduate from high school. So friends, I need you to understand things are going to be different, and the corporate world is going to demand more from education, from higher ed. Our people assets, that's your biggest. Develop a clear, sharp, compelling regional vision. We have to do that. Eliminate those things that really don't matter. Come on. Let's really do that. And then I wrap this up. There's a lot of folks who criticize Steve Jobs. A lot of folks who don't like him. But friends, he has some things to say. Because here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them, but the only thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some see them as crazy ones, we see genius, because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. Thank you.